Hey, you guys are out for Mother's Day today, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, what did y'all go for Mother's Day?
St. James?
St. James? Okay. Is that the church? That's
No,
the church.
St. James is the Caribbean
Oh, that's right
restaurant
next
next door.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
the Caribbean restaurant. Okay, good. And are you Caribbean?
My father is from Trinidad.
Okay.
Yep.
What about you?
No, sir, I'm from Virginia.
Oh, we got what's that called, an FBA and a tether. Are y'all married?
Yeah, we're married. Yeah, we're married. Yeah.
So you know what a tether and FBA is?
I do. Do you?
I wouldn't even try and
You don't know what it is? You never heard of an FBA or a tether?
what that is.
I'll tell you.
All right.
You don't know what it is?
Full-blooded something.
FBAs are foundational Black Americans. That's what they call it.
Foundational Black.
Right.
Gotcha. Right.
And the Caribbean people are what they call tethers.
Yeah.
That's what they call them. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
I'm still learning.
Don't tell them that because then you don't run with it.
So she would be a tether and you'd be an FBA.
FBA.
That's how they work. All right. Yeah. So how long y'all been married?
Been married 19 years.
Wow, that's a long time. Damn, y'all look very young yourself.
Yeah, 19.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, what do y'all? What brought you here to DC?
Work.
What were you
You
work?
mean like today or just in
No,
general?
just in general.
Oh, in general.
Yeah, work.
Yeah, work
Yeah.
in general.
What kind of work do you do?
U.S. Army intelligence analyst.
Hey, nice. What about you?
I'd rather not say.
Okay. You probably got like a security clearance. But I tell people all the time, like, the security clearance is the way it's at in DC. If you got a clearance, you're doing pretty, you can really bump up your salary here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very good.
I can see that.
Yeah. You live in Maryland, DC?
Yeah, we're in Maryland.
What part of Maryland?
Not too far away from here.
Do you live in PG or Montgomery County?
Not too far away. We're in Mo County.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've been hearing PG County is on a lot of trouble. A lot of stress right now. Have you been hearing about that?
It depends on who you asking, right? It's all about perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been hearing like they lost the Six Flags. They lost.
Oh, as far as that, yeah, they're losing that. Yeah.
Redskins, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So people have
Yeah.
their businesses having a hard time. It's not even the richest Black county anymore. I don't know if you knew that.
I've heard that, but I think that everybody's having a hard time right now.
Yeah.
So to pin it down on a county, just as a collective, we're having a hard time.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
So what's the food like in St. James?
Amazing.
Yeah, it's delicious.
I love to get the red snapper. For those that have not been, it comes with a curry sauce with black rice, and then I like to also add the macaroni pie with the plantains on top. So it's amazing. Customer service is great.
Really?
Yeah.
St. James.
Every time that I have been to St. James, it's Black owned.
Yeah, okay.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah, St. James. There you go. I've never been there before, but
Really?
There's been several restaurants that have opened up there over the years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a couple of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember one of my favorite spots is right there back in the day. But
Okay.
yeah. What else? What would you like to talk about? What's your thoughts about DC? Give the people in the audience some thoughts about DC here.
I love DC.
Do you really? What do you like about it?
Just the freedom that I feel that I have to be able to walk around, regardless to what everybody else's perspective is of stay from this side or this side. I think that I have the freedom to do that. And I'm not really worried about anything. I like it better than other parts of the area. I like it better than Baltimore because there's so much more to do, in my opinion, in the DC area.
Yeah, not much in Baltimore these days.
No, and that's just my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I ain't a big fan of Baltimore.
I like Baltimore though.
You do? What do you like about it?
My people.
Ooh, you got some relatives up there?
My black people.
Oh, in Baltimore. Okay.
My
okay.
people.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that in the city. But as far as the attractions, more to do, more restaurants, in my opinion, I like to come down to the DC area.
DC hot.
Yeah.
I've been here a long time. I've been a landlord here a long time.
Okay.
DC is a hot city. It's my favorite city, honestly. I like some cities to go have fun. Miami, stuff like that, but there's nothing like DC to me.
You ever been to Washington State?
No, never. You like that?
I love Washington State.
Yeah.
I loved Alaska.
Yeah.
When we were there, but Washington State is really, really nice.
Is that right?
It rains a lot, but it's peaceful.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't like all that rain there.
Yeah.
See, who we have in the audience here? Let me. He's just starting out. We got about 11 people in the audience right starting out. DiCapriano Richard, Triple D. I'm not sure if I've ever seen Triple D in the audience. Claris, hi everyone, welcome to the show. Yeah, we stream like quite a bit, a lot of different topics, a lot of landlord topics, a lot of just having fun topics, a lot of topics of the day. Let me ask you this question. What do you think about Carmelo Anthony?
I'm not a sports fanatic like that. You
Not
would
the-
have
not
to
the-
ask.
not the
Oh,
sports
the
player.
young man.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And she got her husband over here watching the chat, guys, so you don't be flirting
What
with
I
her.
what I think about that young man.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to both parties.
Yeah,
But my heart really goes out to the Anthony family.
yeah.
I wasn't there, but
Yeah.
from reports and things that I've heard, he was bullied, and you don't know how you'll act.
Right.
We can say you don't do this, you don't do that, but in a fight or flight situation, and some might say he was not in one. But in a fight or flight situation, you don't know how you'll respond.
Yeah.
You put things into a pressure cooker, eventually it's going to explode.
Yeah.
You know, and so my heart goes out to him. I'm hoping he's able to recover. I pray that his family is unharmed, and I pray that the other family can heal as well. And hopefully it's a lesson. If he was bullied, it's a lesson to bullies that, you know, people not standing for that anymore on any
you run into the
level.
wrong bully.
Absolutely.
It'll be the
Absolutely.
last of your days, damn bully.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What about the Shallow Hendrix? Have you heard about that?
I have.
What do you think about that?
That lady crazy as I don't know what. And it's sad that we're living in a place that they condone and raise so much money for something as such, is what I'll say.
Do you know what's most surprising to me out of all this, the Shallow Hendrix thing?
What is it?
The most surprising thing is there are no black people involved. There's not one black person in the picture. Not the children, not the man, you know. He's Somalian, you know. Nothing against Somalis, you know. I don't have anything
Yeah.
against him. But the child wasn't black. The Somali man wasn't black. Nobody's black.
But when they see skin tone,
Yeah.
black.
You know,
That's all that matters, right?
but I think in the grand scheme of things, when a Somali sees skin tone, he don't automatically see Somali,
That's
right?
true.
Like if he see me, he don't see Somali,
That's true.
right?
That's
But I
true.
think the blacks, in their haste to like take up for the young boys, they jump to a conclusion that didn't even include. You know, how sometimes you can jump into a fight that ain't got nothing to do with you.
I don't do that.
But I mean, you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
right?
I
You know,
do.
right?
I do.
And I think in this instance, the blacks have jumped into a fight that has nothing to do with them. There's no black people around.
It's still wrong.
Yeah, I'm not
It's
saying it's
still
wrong.
wrong.
Yeah.
And when I read the comments on the GoFund or whatever it's
Yeah.
called, how they listed their names. One said Nate Higger.
Oh,
But if
yeah, I
you
saw that,
switch
yeah.
it,
Yeah.
you know, and so
Yeah.
many other things, it's disheartening.
Yeah.
And so what I tell my people is to prepare not just your minds but your bodies and take things seriously, because I
Yeah.
think that we're entering into a time that none of us have lived through before.
Yeah, it is a very interesting time.
Yeah.
You know, did you hear about Tyree Nichols? I
I
see about
did.
all the hot button stuff. You know what? You know what's interesting
I did.
you know what's interesting what I saw about them yesterday? The police officers that were found not guilty by the all-white jury now have bounties being placed on them.
Absolutely.
Isn't that like, but who's placing the bounties on them? The black people or the white people? Yeah, that's kind of interesting. That part is kind of
I
interesting.
wouldn't be surprised if it's a little bit of everybody. You can't do harm like that to somebody on tape and just
Yeah.
think that you're just going to walk away free.
Yeah.
You can't do that. And I think that in America, that a lot of us are tired of being taken advantage of and being abused.
What do you think about an all-white jury freeing the police officers? That's weird, right?
America's weird.
Yeah, that is definitely weird. You know, you would have thought that maybe they would. I guess going into this, you would have thought maybe they would convict the cops, all white cops.
You
all
think- you-
black cops.
You think that?
Well, I didn't know what to think, to be quite honest with you. I would have thought. I don't know what I would have thought, but I think when I heard that it was an all-white jury, I said, "Now that's interesting. That kind of throws a curveball into things because we've expected all-white juries to not be fair to black people.
It really depends too, though, right? We would think that naturally,
Yeah,
but they did the work.
yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah. The cops did the work.
Yeah.
So why would they find them guilty?
Yeah.
They did the work.
Yeah, and then some people are probably more trusting. Some communities are probably more trusting of the police than others. That could be part of it,
I think they did the work.
Yeah.
Tyree is one brother that is gone.
Yeah,
So they did the work for them.
Yeah, that was a very, very sad story.
Absolutely.
Even how it turned out, the young man, them finding him not, the police officers not guilty. It's just kind of weird.
Maybe they didn't watch the same video that we did.
Yeah, maybe it was something else at play. I'm just not
Yeah.
quite sure. What do you think about how long have you said you've been here in D.C.?
We've been here off and on for about 10, 15 years.
Okay, so you've seen quite a bit of change here.
Yeah.
What do you think about the change here in D.C.?
It's changed.
Yeah. You're not saying much good over here.
It's not hope.
You don't think so? In terms of what? Give the people some perspective when you're in the audience.
If we're going off slogan, one was hope before and one is something else, and you asked about change. And I feel that it's not hope.
I drew the connection that you said.
Yeah.
So you think been a big difference saying from Obama? That was 2008. That's a long time. Damn. It's like 17 years later.
Well, with evolution, everything changes, right?
Yeah.
So it's definitely been a change.
Damn, 17 years later, huh? Damn.
Has it really been 17 years?
Obama was in office 2008, right?
17 years later?
Was it Obama in 2008?
Yeah, 2008.
Then
Yeah.
in 2025.
In 2008, then he took office in 2009.
Yeah.
Wow, it's 16 years. Well,
It's a long time.
It's been a long time. What do you think some of the biggest changes you've seen?
The way that we treat each other openly.
In terms of what?
Respect and dignity.
You mean American people or?
American people.
Okay, yeah. Interesting. And what do you think that changes come from?
From within, something that was hidden under covers, and now you can freely do whatever you want to do without repercussion.
Yeah, I can see that. Do you think it's economical? Just what do you think that the
It
basic?
encompasses all of that. All of that.
Yeah, I definitely think so. Let's see, we have any comments in the chat? So she knows she's speaking to, what is it, Uncle Tom? Somebody called me Uncle Tom.
Call me Uncle Tom?
Somebody called me Uncle Tom.
Wow.
When people call you all kind of names, you have to have thick skin.
That's okay. They're allowed to have their opinions
They
too.
call you Uncle Tom, they call you all kind of shit. And then yesterday they were calling me all kind of names. What else I want to ask you about?
What is your views on what's happening
What? What in particular?
in D.C.?
Well, I'm a landlord, right? So what I've seen is that you see all these guys riding up and down the street with scooters. They are really doing a number to the lower class people, right? The lower class people can't compete with them. If you're riding around in a car and Uber, they're whooping your ass. On the middle income people, construction, labor force, they're whooping their ass there too. Construction sites, and it's immigration. And so then you come to housing, where, finally you touch me. I rent to these people. They're willing to live a little differently. They're able to cohabitate, cooperate much easier than Americans. And so they're putting up a very, very difficult front that I don't think it has made it to the news yet. No reporters out here doing research on what's going on. But if they would come talk to me, and I could probably put them on a lead to look at why the rents are rising. It's not because of inflation. You brought 30 million people here. Some of them are very skilled. Some of them are willing to live 2 to 3 to a room. COVID, all that kind of stuff. It's a lot of things that played a role in getting us to where we are. And I'm just more than speaking financially, socially type things. So I think the Carmelo Anthonys have a role in it. They were renting. They were renting in an affluent neighborhood. They probably were living in that neighborhood because they didn't want to live in a bad neighborhood. There's maybe more black people, right?
Well, you do realize that not all black neighborhoods are bad.
That's not what I'm saying, but
Oh, okay.
they lived in Frisco. It's a very affluent,
Right.
primarily
I know
white
about
town,
Texas.
right?
Yep.
There are a lot of black areas that they could
Yeah.
live in. They chose not to for whatever reason.
Right.
Typically, it's going to be the schools, while a lot of black people tend to move to non-black neighborhoods. And once they get into the schools, then there brings another set of conflicts. You ran from some problems, that you didn't want to deal with in, say, the black neighborhood. I live in the ghetto. I live in Congress Heights. So some things I encounter, other things I don't. Nobody's calling me a nigger. This is the first time, honestly, I've seen white people all week. The first time I've seen a white person all week.
Where you been?
In Southeast all day, all week.
Huh.
And so the problem is that a black person may have coming up here, he doesn't have in Southeast, and vice versa, right? The problems you have in Southeast, you may not have here. And I think a lot of these problems are coming when people are intersecting in areas where, there's some assimilation necessary. You're kind of out of your comfort zone. And I think that's where I see it. If I mix black and white tenants, that's where I get a lot of serious conflict. But two blacks, they may have conflict, but they might be able to solve it themselves, maybe, right?
Right.
But blacks and whites, one of them will say, "Oh, I don't want to deal with this. I'm out." Right? Typically, it's gonna be the white person. You're gonna be like, "I don't want to deal with this fighting or somebody screaming in the house or whatever." And the white person will typically leave, whereas the black person, it may not be as much of a problem to him. The music is a little loud or something like that, So that's kind of what I've seen over the years. Like I almost have to segregate my houses. Like I'm going back to segregation.
Do you
like
think that
George
we were
Wallace.
better off segregated?
Well, I didn't live during segregation, but my mother tends to think so. She lived during it, and I can see why, because again, like I've had black just recently. If you're looking on my channel, I had some blacks call the police in the house. When once the police came and they got over their problem, they went back to sleep. Nobody moved out. Well, but if it had been black and white, it could have been combustible. One of them may have called the other one a nigger, it just could be anything that could really make things explode, right? Whereas all the time it don't happen amongst your own race, That's what I found.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
What do I think about what?
You asked me about segregation. What do you think about it?
I didn't live through those times,
Yeah.
but I purposely seek doctors that look like me, therapists that look like me, teachers that look like my children, because I feel while there are people that don't look like me, actually honestly do care, right? But the relatability from what I experienced come from people that look like me. And so I tend to cater towards that because mothers in America that look like me don't tend to make it out of the hospital.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah, the mortality rate for pregnant black women is high. A lot of our complaints are ignored, and so I tend to go to that. So far as the segregation part of it, I'm not sure, but we tend to understand each other a little bit better. We might fuss and fight, as you said, but we can tend to resolve, for the most part, right? A little bit better.
Yeah. Without anybody else, you either gonna figure it out, or you're gonna go your separate ways.
Yeah, I mean, they'll
right?
still bust caps too, don't get them wrong, right? But outside of that, the majority of our people, I believe, can resolve and or know when to just walk away and say that you're not for me, right? Versus continuing on.
Yeah. You don't take it, if I call a black person a nigger, they don't take it the wrong way.
Well, you don't call them a nigger though, do you?
If I
You
did,
call
if
them a
I
nigger.
didn't. Sometimes I gotta add that hard y'all when they acting up
But
in my
why?
house. So you have to give it to them.
It's disrespectful either way.
Hey, when they being disrespectful, sometimes they don't understand no better. Like it takes being a landlord to some of these people. You be like, what the heck, nigga, just do?
Lord have mercy.
But I promise you, I call them to the nigga to their face and they don't blink an eye. And they like,
Really?
Yeah, I can. You can look on my stream.
That'll be the last day I'm at your house.
But
Break lease and all.
But but I only have leases.
Oh, really?
But it's like they know when they acting up,
Yeah.
right? And they be like, I fucked up. And I'm like, nigga, what the fuck do you do? Right?
Yeah.
And they get straight right the fuck
But
up.
see, you said with the A,
No,
not with the
the
ER.
ER,
What you
no.
just said, though, was different.
Well, but
It was
yeah.
different. It was
But yeah, I'm probably just because I got you in front of it, but I give it to her rugged and rough. But
And you know, that's the beauty of it, though. To be able to understand the vibe, the energy.
yeah, that's what I'm talking
It's all about the energy of it.
Yeah. And and I think there are no impacts on race relations when I call them whatever the hell I want to call them versus
Absolutely.
if someone else,
I can see.
if a white person call them, hey
Yeah.
boy, anything, it's gonna
And you know,
hit
it's
different.
funny that you say that because to my son, I'd be like, boy, get over here.
Yeah, there you go, right?
But as of late, I found myself saying, to my son, I'm like, boy, he's not a boy.
How old is your son?
He's 16.
Oh yeah, he's a grown man damn near now.
He not, hold on.
He's
He
almost
not
there.
grown. But the connotation of boy.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm raising him to be somebody's husband, somebody's father. I shouldn't be calling him a boy,
Yeah.
even though I don't mean it from that
Yeah, I know
sense.
what you mean, yeah.
But when I look around today and how I feel where we're going, potentially, I need to learn how to respect him as such. And he's not just a boy. He was called a boy at birth because they had to identify him either a girl or a boy.
Yeah, male, female.
So I've decided that, he's a young man.
Yeah. Indeed, that's how the law would
He
look
deserves
at it.
that respect.
He goes damn near sign up for the military now. Huh?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
he ain't signed up for no military.
I mean, he's old enough, damn.
No, he
near, yeah.
ain't. He ain't old enough.
What, how old you have to be to sign up?
I think
17?
18.
I thought it was
18,
17.
17, 18.
Well, I think I signed up for the military when I was 17 years old. They
Well,
probably tried
thank
to
you
draft
for
me.
your service,
I
buddy.
didn't serve. I just.
Oh, well. Thank you for thinking about it.
Nigga, I thought
Don't
about
put
it
that
for a
over
long
here.
But no, he's about old enough to damn, don't you have to register for special, selective, whatever it was
Yeah,
called?
18.
Right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, 18.
Hell, I think in my day you could sign up for the military when you like 17, like
Is it
deferred
17?
admission. I think
Back when I enlisted, it was 16 with parental permission. I don't know what it is now.
So wait, you wouldn't let your son go in the military now?
Not under Trump, no.
Oh, no, Joe. What about, would you let him go in under Biden?
I would feel better under Biden than Trump. I'm just keeping it a buck.
No, that's fine. When Trump is out, would you let him go in after Trump? It depends on who it is, I imagine.
I want to see who it is, and on top, I kind of want to see where the economy, kind of what the state of geopolitical affairs is.
Yeah. Man, I would recommend my child stay the hell out of
I was
that
going to
shit
say,
anyway.
well, we can't let him do anything as a man,
Right,
right? We have influence
Right.
over our
That's
children.
true. I would influence my children. I would try to influence them to stay the hell out of that shit because
Yep.
that ain't my war. You know what I
Yep.
mean? I don't get paid for whatever they
But
over there fighting
what
for.
attracts them is the health care, the benefits,
The
right?
healthcare. I ain't got no health care.
That's what attracts. It's the health care, the promise of the education,
Yeah.
the housing after you get out, those
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah.
And it's good for some.
Yeah.
It's good for some,
Yeah.
right? And then others, it's not.
I think it's a sucker's bet, honestly. Not saying it's bad, but if you go in for that, it's kind of a sucker's bet. To me.
I don't think so.
If you go in for a house,
I don't think so because at the end of the day, you're still going to serve and protect. But you want to be able to walk away with something. You don't want to just work at a place and not have something. And they do provide that for them for their service. So I don't think it's a sucker's bet.
well, I'm saying like, if you say I want to go in the army to go to school and get a house,
You know what? If that's how you can save yourself from becoming
Fair
in
enough.
prison,
Fair
and
enough,
you
yeah.
learn to serve and you get the skills and
Yeah.
you find the love of it.
now,
Why
like,
not?
as opposed to your husband, if someone said I want to go in and get the skills and get a security clearance, I got you because you
That's
can make
still a
money
benefit.
forever.
It's still a benefit.
Yeah, but it lasts a long time. And it's
It
something.
depends.
And it's something that you can't get on your own.
You actually can.
But
You
you
can
can't-
work with a lot of companies that offer.
I'm saying you can't just say, "Hey, hire me. I need a security clearance." You can't go buy a security clearance on
Depends
your
on who
own.
you know.
But you can't buy a security clearance.
Your company buys it for you.
That's what I'm
purchases
saying.
for
You got to get them to buy it for you.
Yeah.
But you can't buy it yourself.
And not everybody in the military has a security.
Yeah, that's true. But I tell people here, if you can get in the military and get a clearance and get out, that's the
Well,
best
it
bet.
depends on if you go right into a job afterwards.
Yeah.
Because if it sits, you lose your clearance anyway.
If it what?
If you sit and it's not you being
Oh, you mean
used,
like sitting on the bench?
absolutely,
Yeah.
you lose it anyway. So, know, everybody has to do what works for them.
Yeah,
at the end
I
of the day.
definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Because there's some people that might say, I'm not renting out a house to nobody.
Yeah,
and
there's
you
a lot
have
of
a
people
love
say
for
that.
that. And so with that, you give back to the community
Yeah.
through that,
Yeah.
even through the turmoil you might have,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, I love
Everybody
it.
has
Yeah.
a place.
Yeah.
You just have to find your place.
Let me ask you this. You say your son is 16 years old?
He is.
Does he identify as a male or female? I mean, what you know that all these identification shit today. Is he, her, him? You have to ask this stuff these days. Does he have pronouns?
He identifies as my son.
Oh, but does he have? Do they have pronouns at your son's school? Him, her, she, them. What's your pronoun?
I am doing this interview with you.
Now, the reason why I asked you. Anyways, the next question I was going to ask, I asked a lot of the young people, where do you see yourself in 20 years? 10, 20 years. Where do you see your son in 10, 20 years?
I would love to see my son making a difference in his community, giving back.
Okay.
If you ask him, he sees himself playing football.
Okay.
If you ask him, but I would love to see him giving back to the community and taking young boys underneath his wings and making them into something that, or helping them become somebody, is what I would love.
Do you allow him to play football?
Yeah.
You're not concerned about the head injuries?
As a nurse, I am,
Yeah.
right? But at the end of the day, it's a choice, right?
And your choice was to, I guess you had to allow it? Did you allow it or he just forced it?
Just this year.
Oh, this is his first year?
This is his first year. And he's
Really?
pretty good.
16?
Yep.
So he never knew how to tackle it? He just now learning how to tackle at
Diddy Bang,
16?
he's a natural.
Really?
He's really a natural.
He has the
He was
size and
playing
everything?
basketball. Yeah,
What's
he's
it?
6'2",
Oh, yeah, he's got the
about
size.
150.
He's a little light, but he got the height. You can't
Don't tell me he's a big dog.
Yeah,
He's a big dog.
You can add weight, but you can't add height. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Only God can give you the height. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay, there you
he's
go.
quick.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. What position does he play?
What he play?
You know.
He's a running back and a defensive back.
There he is.
Running back, defensive back. Okay, there you go. 6'2".
I just want
He's a
to.
wide receiver, defensive
I
back.
was I
Wide
thought
receiver.
he was a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I saw the WR.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. The reason I did not allow him in the beginning, I need him to develop a little bit more. The brain, the trauma from that. And so when he came and he was like, this is what he want to do.
Yeah. What made him want to play it at 16? That was like a late bloomer.
He ain't late, it's in his time. Don't let nobody tell you late.
Now, I'm just wondering, like, because, I've heard of some older college players. Excuse me, may I have another water, please? Yeah, I've heard of some, like, older college players, they're graduating at 24 now. Maybe they're late bloomers or something, so that could be a trend that...
He's always wanted to, but it was his mother that said no. He's always wanted to.
Really? That's very interesting.
And he respected it.
Yeah, that's very interesting. How about school? What do you think about his, what school does he go to? Well, now you have to answer. What's his school like?
School life is, after COVID, is a little different, I believe. These kids were out of school with about 3 years, and then to transition back in,
Oh, yeah.
the social aspect of it, I think a lot of them actually are having a hard time. It's all about being able to communicate through the phones. The personal side of it, introspective, I think that they have lost it. But overall, I think that this generation, they're overcomers for the most part.
Oh, wow, that's right. So you're saying, like, COVID may have affected him? Like
COVID affected a lot of these kids.
Yeah, that's what I'm him, not just him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really?
Absolutely. Yeah, the teachers will tell you that. If you listen to the teacher, if the parents cared enough to talk to the teachers and figure it out, absolutely.
Did he have to get vaccinated to go to school?
Did he have to?
Yeah, did they make them get vaccinated to go to high school?
I'm his mama. I ain't making him do nothing.
Okay, but I mean, did the school require it?
Did the school require it for him to go to school?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. I didn't know.
The way you preface it, I'm like,
Yeah, club soda. What's that, water? Oh, that's great. I'll bring that to Yeah, put a lime in there for me.
yeah, the way you preface it, I thought you were saying something different. But no, he's no.
Did you have to get vaccinated?
Did we have to?
Oh yeah, did you get vaccinated?
We chose to let it be our choice.
What does that mean?
Whatever we chose to
But
do.
it's everybody's choice, wasn't it?
Whatever we chose to do is what we did.
Yeah. So it was everybody's choice, right?
Some people felt like they didn't have a choice. And my thing is, whether you choose or choose not, you've already chosen,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I ain't taking it.
Well, whether you chose or chose not.
I got a video up on the channel. My lady said she's out. She said, your courage in resisting it made me proud. I resisted the whole damn way. I was on a plane one time with my woman, and I got on there. I never wore a mask. I got on there. We was on the plane. She was sitting ahead of me. It's on, you can hear the video on the screen.
Okay.
And the homosexual flight attendant, he comes up. He says, "Sir, put a mask on." I'm like, "I'm not putting a mask on." So he made me get off the plane. And, my lady had to get off. She was sit up ahead of me, so we both had to get off the plane. But she didn't wince. She didn't.
That was crazy.
She didn't blink. Yeah. That shit. I never believed any of it, to be honest with you. I think it was all fake. Yeah, I never wore a mask. Never got bags. I rode trains, planes, buses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never wore a mask. Never got sick. Never got sick anything, but because I never got sick because it wasn't shit. You can get you sick.
I hear you.
Well, what y'all here tonight? Y'all done for Mother's Day today?
Probably so.
Yeah.
Head back and just relax, get ready to hit the Monday through Friday
It's
lifestyle.
that Monday grind, you know what I mean?
Monday
That
through
Monday
Friday.
grind. I have to do it every day.
Yeah.
There's no weekend for me. Every day is I gotta get it going every day.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, thank you very much for interviewing. What was your names again?
I'm Trust.
Trust?
JP.
Hey, good luck to your son, and we may see him on the football field one day.
You might, but if I want to just leave one thing with your
Yeah, sure.
audience,
Go right ahead.
is regardless of what's going on in your life, always reach out to somebody because somebody will see and or hear you. Live in peace and balance no matter what, and know that in life there are seasons just like there are seasons in the weather, and nothing lasts forever. Hold on to what you have, love those that love you, learn to put you first, and that's it.
There you go. Well, thank you again. Trust in JP.
Yep.
Nice looking couple.
Thank you.
How long y'all been married? 19?
19.
16, 19 years. 19-year couple. And half their life.
Half the life. It's absolutely right.
All right, thank you again. For
Thank
coming.
you.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one.
The same to you.
All right, y'all be blessed. Take
Happy
care.
Mother's Day to you again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. That was a nice interview, guys. A very nice interview. Make sure you subscribe, by the way. The Urban Landlord and the Urban Landlord clips, by the way.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Yeah, that's pretty good, guys.